Well, good morning everyone, and thank you for joining us for another Friday morning Master Lok Style Tai Chi and Qigong class. Lots to get through today. We have Rosie is just keeping an eye on us. Let's take right hand and fist, please. Left hand straight. Pull back the thumb, feet together, hands together, and press forward. And just to begin, I'd like you to take a nice loose stance and shake out while I double check that I've got the right speaker on. And I do, yay. Okay, good. So just a wee shake out. She's a very timid cat. Okay, lovely. And let us go into Wuji. So, shoulder width and level, please. We use the form in this class as warm-up. So we're floating up through the top of the head, the chin slightly down and back. And just take a few moments to breathe and calm down. Let's find all 10 fingers, gently lengthen them down while keeping the top of the head lengthening up. Feeling into the fingers. Just see if you can connect with each one. And feel an even connection. Ready for open door 5. And we rest at waist height for a moment as we breathe and calm, checking posture, release shoulders, release elbows, and feel into your hands. Good, and let's begin movement 2, heaven and earth rotations. Remember, we keep the hips and the knees pointing forwards, turning in the waist. On the 9th set, we draw an S shape to change direction. You can play with this when you practice. You can do more circles, you can do less. It's very flexible. Let's draw in. Relax the shoulders, float the hands up to chest height and repeat. Swirl the energy around the back, along the arms, jumping across the fingertips. Keep your circle. And change direction. Back to center. Movement 3. Heaven, earth, and man. Gather in front of you. Gather the energy bowl to the forehead. Point to the eyebrow corners and direct the energy down. Open at the shoulder blades, at the collarbone, and round the inside of the leg, up the back, around and relax to center. We're going to check posture, relax to center. Listen and feel into your body. Anything that's expressing itself on any level, just be with it for a moment. And let go. Good, and we repeat 3 times. Point, directing the energy, but don't touch the body. Keep the knees in line with the toes. Check posture. Relax to center. Last set. And this is the lymphatic work within this form. Though all Tai Chi has a good effect on the lymphatic system. And Qigong as well. Good. Relax to center. Notice how quickly the body recovers. You'll notice your heart rate, your breathing, your muscles, all, even if they've worked quite hard, they calm down quickly as you center. So let's release and begin to rotate the bowl. Another little centering move. This is a stomach spleen move. Good, now I'm mirroring for you. So we're going to turn to your front left, which is southeast. Turn the toes to the corner. And we're going to roll the ball at belly height. And then roll up to chest height. And then roll up to head and neck height. Step to the side and skim across waist height. Turn palms, we come underneath the armpit, along the line of the arm. Flipping the hands, gently feed forwards with a half step. tiger. Okay, so we scoop your backhand, right hand under. We expand the ball, rotate the ball and step. Squish it down and expand. This is Phoenix to the south. Release the back foot and step. Squish it down and expand. Keep going. So if you know the Phoenix, it's the first few movements of the Phoenix form. But here, as we come up and over, we just return to horse stance and go into our snake exercise. So we flip the toes, turn the waist, and point the fingers around the body, palms facing out, press the hands away, look over the back shoulder, release, lasso the top hand and flip the toes to the other corner, repeat, palms press away, fingers pointing around the body, look over the shoulder and release and return to center. For the turtle, we cross the hands at the wrist, we sit back and down, fill the back, press the hands forwards and up, level with the feet, so we want symmetry. Top of the head lengthening up, chin down and back, fill your back like the shell of the turtle and extend to all fingers and toes. Good, and release. Well done. Find your southeast again. Empty stance. We're going to step with your left foot, the front foot, and step through for gold drill. We roll back towards the back foot, float up, square up, release the front foot, one hand in front of the other, step and step through hand and foot. Good, now we go back with a water drill. We block, we step back and pierce, palm facing up. Repeat, block, step back and pierce, palm facing up. Your left leg should be forwards, keep it forwards. As we do a half step, cycle the arms, stretch, one forwards, one back, cycle the arms and step. And again, stretch and step. Let's go again, stretch and release, turn, south west as we step, block in front of the chest and rise, half step, slide down, this is the fire element, step, block in front of the chest, rise, do it again, slide down, step, block in front of the chest and rise. Good, turn to face the front and scoop. Earth element, 2, 3. Bring the left side in, 4. Good, now I can't figure out how to mirror this, so I'm going to do the same as you for movement 6, 6 harmonies. So we open again and we do 4 more of the same. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we swing under, lift the toes, pivot on the heel, step through, and open the left side. Back the way you came, left side in, arm up. We step back and swing under, pivot on your right heel, throw the arms up, step through, open, right. And now we keep turning in that same direction, step the back foot through to cross over and cycle. Cross and cycle, step forwards and forwards and back and back. If the stepping is too much, leave it out. Turn to the other corner. Step forwards. Step forwards. Step back. Step back. Return to center. Take a breath. Balls level with the waistline. and close. Good, so now we have movements, seven stars, rotations, qigong. So we lengthen up, chin down and back, calming down. Listening behind. Find all 10 fingers, gently lengthen them down. We scoop. Right hand under, left hand on top. Ball. Turn the ball, push the left heel out. Swing the left hand towards the center of your circle and release the right foot. Now keep the shoulders relaxed and down. We extend and keep looking towards our center point as we take 8 steps round, starting with the front foot. Off you go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Turn in and release the right side step. Starting with the front foot, 8 steps round. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you're done. Take a breath. Pulse level with the waist. And close. Good, well done. So that was your warm-up. I encourage you now to have a moment of comfort. If you'd like a drink, blow your nose, have a wee stretch, whatever it is you would like to do. I'm having my morning drink. It's lemon and cinnamon and cayenne pepper and honey. Oh, I forgot the ginger. Oh well. Still nice. Good. Okay, so that was our 7 stars. Some of us may not have done that practice for a long time, so well done. You got through it very well. So now we're moving on to Phoenix. Very familiar territory. Hopefully this will be no issue at all. So if you're very familiar with the Phoenix, just concentrate on styling, on flow, enjoy yourself, see if you can ride the wave, so to speak, of energy. But if you haven't done it for a while, don't worry, just see if you can follow, get the palm positions right. Just get through it. I find often palm positions is the one thing people aren't quite sure. Is your palm facing up? Is your palm facing out? But remember, Master Lok's work is really quite fluid, and he encourages us to play a little bit with our execution. For example, in the movement we've just done, you can pick your side. Which way do you go first? He suggests that one day you go in one direction first, and the next day you go in the other direction first, just to keep things interesting. So it's the same with the Bagua. You could start circling in one direction or the other. It's absolutely fine, as long as you do both sides, that's good. From the elemental aspect, movement 5, though, it is important to do it the way you just did it, so mirroring me. And the reason for that is it should be the left foot stepping forwards and the right foot chasing. That's a liver exercise, and that gives you a jolly good stretch in your liver. So if you do it on the other side, you don't get the full benefits. So when I was mirroring, I wasn't getting the full benefits, but hopefully it was making it clear. All right, so we've had a wee rest. Let's now have a look at our Phoenix form. We'll just do it on one side for now, and then continue through to the Immortals. However, after that, if we still have time, I can open it up to you and you can decide, would you like to try the Phoenix on the second side, or if there's an aspect of the Immortals that you would like to clarify. Okay, so let's go with the Phoenix. So this time we begin with the feet together, heels together, toes a little bit apart. We lengthen up, chin down and back, and calm down. Find all 10 fingers and press them down. Just take your time to observe the sensations in your fingers. You may notice a tingle at the tips of the fingers. This is great. This is the initiation of chi. You're waking up that dormant energy. But as you continue to breathe and feel into your hands, into your fingers, you'll notice that the sensation changes, that the fingers feel full, almost fat, plump. And that shows that the energy is really building up nicely. And so then we can begin to circulate. Ready? And Very good. Well done. Take a wee breath, take a wee rest. We're halfway through our time, so I think we're doing pretty darn well. I must admit, recently I've not been focusing on the Phoenix. And doing it there is such a joy. Actually, there's so much in it. It's basic compared to some of Master Lok's other work, but remember, basic does not mean worthless. Basics are actually containing everything we need to be stepping stones to the higher levels. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I thought it was very nice. And can you see how it balances out with the 7 stars Qigong? Notice in the 7 stars when we're doing the 4 elements, sorry, not the 4, the 5. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out. When we're doing the 4 corners, so we're doing the southeast, the southwest, we do this movement as the tiger in the 7 stars to the west, to our right side. But when we're in the Phoenix, we do it to our left side, which would be the east. And that is the heart side. It's a heart exercise in the Phoenix form. So it's really nice that you get to do that exercise in both forms, but one on one side and one on the other side. So if you weren't to flip the Phoenix then and do it on the second side, you're still getting balance if you do the 7 stars and then the Phoenix. So it's really nicely blending the knowledge and recycling the knowledge, but the Phoenix is taking it more into a Tai Chi form rather than just a Qigong set. So the Phoenix is what Master Lok calls a Tai Chi Qigong form. It's kind of marrying the two very much more closely together. It's designed for health, therefore it's more Qigong, but when he demonstrates aspects of it, you can see the martial content can't help but express itself. It is still Tai Chi, so it's kind of on the edge. You could take it more into martial if you wanted. You could keep it just for health if you wanted. Good. So let us move on and have a look at our Immortals. So we might ping pong back and forth a little bit. We'll do once through the Immortals and maybe have some feedback. We'll have a chat and see how everyone's getting on. And then we'll decide, do we want to keep drilling through Immortals, or shall we go back to Phoenix and do a little bit more? I'd love to do more Phoenix, but I'm open to whatever you like. But give me a moment, please, while I blow my nose, and we will do now the Immortals form. Okay, so Immortals crossing the sea. You remember I was saying in 7 stars we have the tiger to the west, and in the Phoenix form we have the heart exercise, mist forming pearl to your east. Well, in this form, in the Immortals crossing the sea form, the opening move, if you remember it, it has the left hand scooping under, whereas the Phoenix form has the right hand scooping under. So there's this constant dialogue and constantly keeping us on our toes. But if we get the correct movement for the correct form, that helps us then get into the form. Whereas if they all started the same way, we'd really have to keep our wits about us or we could end up doing something else. So this form, we start with the left hand scooping under into our bowl, and that helps us remember that we have Emerging Dragon as our first exercise. Okay, so lengthen up. And relax down. Take a moment to become quiet and still. Engage the fingers. Ready, start. Left hand under. Emerging dragon. Immortal lifts mountain. Dragon into the ocean. Dragon tiger confrontation. Or Peng Lu Ji An. Flying dragon. Taming the flood. Immortals crossing the ocean. Crossing the sea, sorry. Okay. Bending the flower stalk. Casting the fishing line. Leaping over the ocean. Beyond shadow. Two immortals. Pluck right, turn to the back, step to the side left. Pluck left, turning, right hand follows. Pluck right, sit back. Immortal fishing toad. I know I'm far away, I'll come back. Yeah. Overseeing territory, this could be a jump. Slightly different if you jump. Immortal sacred sword. The way descending. Goes left. Good, and recover. Have a breather. Well done. I don't always give all the names of the steps. I actually struggled to remember some of them as we did it. So maybe the odd pause while I was going, what's next? What's it called? But it may be useful. I certainly find it helpful. I find it helpful as a teacher if the students learn the names of the moves, because then if we're to cover a question, someone can say, oh, you know, sacred sword, can you go over that? As opposed to, you know, this bit. And if it's not executed very crisply, I might not actually know, and then we have to do a bit of forensics. So it's very useful for me, but also it's very useful to help to embody the names of the movements. Actually, Master Lok wrote a book explaining these steps in terms of the allegorical journey. So that means it's quite a Hong Kong style Tai Chi aspect. I think it used to be true of the entire of China, that Tai Chi had a very much an allegorical aspect. So everything told a story, there was a moral behind everything, or there was a way of expressing it that had more than just a pure martial reason, and it helped to express the movement correctly. Just as animal martial arts, you're expressing the sort of essence of the animal, you're embodying its strength and its good qualities. So these movements all have qualities that are expressed through storytelling. So if you fancy getting that book, I would recommend it. It's very, very useful to enrich your Tai Chi practice. I think after the Cultural Revolution, a lot of the storytelling aspects, the allegorical journey aspects of Tai Chi were pretty much wiped out from mainland China, just because anything religious or not fitting in with the new regime of the Cultural Revolution was just squashed flat. But Tai Chi, thankfully, was encouraged because Chairman Mao saw that it was very useful for the health and strength of the nation. However, anything more esoteric and subtle got squashed out. Whereas in Hong Kong, it continued to thrive because it was under British rule, and therefore they continued to do things their traditional way. So you'll see there is a difference between mainland Chinese Tai Chi practice and Hong Kong Chinese Tai Chi practice. The Hong Kong folks tend to embrace the allegorical journey far more so. And if you ever got to study with Gerta Geddes, who went to Hong Kong and learned Tai Chi and brought it back west, she was one of the first women to do so. There was another lady from America at the same time, and I never remember her name. That's often Hilda something maybe. Sorry, I'll look it up and put it in the notes. But they were the first women to Western women to learn Tai Chi in Hong Kong and bring it back and start teaching in the West. And they were contemporaries. They both did it at the same time, but they both embraced the allegorical journey as part of the practice, especially Gerta Geddes. And when I studied with her daughter, and I can't remember her name, that's awfully awful. It'll come back to me. But she very much continues, Hilary, I think her name is. Anyway, she very much continues this allegorical journey aspect. She teaches Yang style, but it's full of stories. If she teaches the long form, the 108 form, every step has a full story behind it. It's fascinating. Very different way of looking at our Tai Chi practice. Okay, come and talk to me please, just for a wee moment, if there's any questions or requests, if you would like to do a certain aspect again, let me know. And if you want to do Phoenix again, if you would like to do Phoenix on the flip side, or just the Immortals, what do you want to do? Tony, go ahead.
No, whichever, I don't mind. Anything, all suits me. It's all enjoyable.
Great. Good. Okay, that's good. I might toss a coin then. Elaine, what about yourself?
Yeah, I don't mind because I'm not usually in this class anyway, so I'm happy with anything and everything.
Good.
So
Okay.
just go with the flow.
Okay, so we've got two going with flow people. Eric, what about you?
I found it a bit difficult this morning, the Immortals, so maybe we could go through it again.
Okay, you want to do Immortals again?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
happy to, yeah, depending on what people want to do, but yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, okay with me.
We're all very kind to each other, aren't we?
is it you first? No, you first. Yeah, it's so far it sounds like whatever is fine, so Immortals is fine. Was the speed okay, or would you want it a wee bit quicker, a wee bit slower?
No, it's
Speed
okay
was
with me.
fine.
Okay, say again one at a time. Eric?
The speed was fine for me, it was just right.
Okay, great, lovely. What was that, Tony?
Yeah, same for me, yeah.
Speed was okay. Alison, are you happy to do Immortals again? You have to knock off the mute, yeah.
No, again, as not a regular with the group, whichever they decide on, I'm easy.
Great, okay, you're all so easy, isn't that wonderful? All right, folks, well, by general consensus, let's do the Immortals again. This time, I'm not going to say the names, so if you want to learn the names, highly recommend it. You could even go through the video again and just watch and listen and see, can you, if you haven't already got the names to embrace them. You can write them down, it's a nice way to help yourself remember. If you're really wanting to quiz yourself, just go through it in your mind and write the names of the steps down as they appear in the form. But if you're not quite there yet, then pad and paper and listen and watch and even pause the video and just write them down, even making little stick figure drawings to remind you which each one is. Okay, so let's have a go. I am trying, I'm not always succeeding, but I'm trying to iron out the corners, as we call it. I'll just pop you all on mute again. So actually, this is another aspect where Master Lok encourages us to be somewhat flexible about our corners. So you have about a 20-odd degree literally degrees of playing with it. So you could go to 45, or you could go a wee bit wider than 45, or if you needed to, you could go a little bit more shallow than 45 when you're turning to the corners. So because we're doing this and it's a flat screen and you can't walk around me as we're doing it, I'm actually trying to iron out the corners as I do. So instead of going to my 45, I'm going quite a bit more but not absolutely to the side. Just hopefully that'll make it easier for you to see my hands and just to see what's going on. But it's not comfortable for me. It's not how I would do it. I would be more of a stickler to go to my 45-degree angle to the corner. But it really depends on your comfort in your body and just your how you want to express yourself. There is a lot of leeway in Master Lok's work. So if we were all doing it as a performance, then we would all have to agree on exactly the angles and make sure that everyone was doing the same thing. But for your own private practice, you can play with your angles until you're comfortable. Okay, so let's go again with the Immortals, just quietly going through it. Ready? And start. Oh, good. Relax down through your body. Just take a moment and feel the repercussions of the form rippling through your system. Keep breathing, keep relaxing, letting go, letting the energy express. Good, and a little heel tap. Excellent. Well done, folks. So, excuse me, I'm going to blow my nose again. So what I would like to do, and I haven't done this before in class with you, I'd like to practice what Master Lok actually recommends that we do, which is to do a little bit of a stand after our practice. So what he says is, for best results, do a half-hour stand before you start your training and do a half-hour stand after you've finished training. So bookending your training with stillness. Now, we often give a little nod to it by just doing a few seconds of just staying in posture at the end of form. And sometimes we do a little bit more of a deep preparation in our Wuji. But you can imagine that doing a half hour would take it to a whole other level. And I know some of you do actually do that practice already at home. It is the Chen style method. Though they tend not to talk about doing stands after the practice, but if you see what folks are actually doing, if they're knee-deep in training, that's what they do. They do their stand before the class, they do the class, often then we break to have lunch, and then before the second bout of classes, they'll do another stand. So standing is also very, very useful in preparation for digestion, and it's also incredibly useful to do straight after you have eaten, before you then go on to do more physical stuff. So the calm and stillness allows the blood supply to go to the digestive system and actually digest. So it's a way of training that, you know, you're not wasting time just letting the food go down. You are training, but you are doing it in such a way that you're aiding your system to digest and not giving yourself indigestion or feeling kind of bloated or uncomfortable. So it's not a great idea to eat a heavy meal and then go straight into the more physical stuff, though with Tai Chi you can pretty much get away with it, but optimally standing is your friend. So we're just going to do a couple of minutes basically of standing, and let's start in our Wuji position, so our heels together and our toes slightly apart. Let's check the top of the head floating up, the chin down and back, and we release and relax. Let the body hang. Just take those few moments to breathe and calm. Again, we lengthen the fingers down. And the way Master Lok brings us into standing practice, into open stance, is to expand and shift the weight as we step. So that's quite different. We expand. You see what I mean? So you can keep your feet flat, you just slide across. We're pretty much taking out all the little protocols, just expand and step. It's a very Bagua way of moving. So the center moves with, or the center moves and the stance opens, and there you are in stance. So at this stage, check that your shoulder width, your feet are level, and again, check the top of the head is floating up, the chin is slightly down and back. Allow the tailbone to release towards the center of the earth. Now, Master Lok actually recommends Wuji. So it's an open stance. I'm going to shift because I've got a funny heater thing on the wall between the legs. All right, so you don't need to bring your hands up. You can, it's absolutely fine. If you're more comfortable, you can bring your hands up. But he recommends half an hour just in this posture. Feel the top of the head light, and with each breath, allow your body to release and pour the tension away. Down through the legs, down through the feet, into the floor, and away. Keeping that topmost point floating up, but listen to your breath and let go through it. If you notice there's any build-up of tension in any body part, just be aware of it, companion it for a moment, breathing into it, and let go through it. Very good. Let's very gently float the hands up to cover center. Hug the elbows gently in. And now feel the touch and the warmth of your hands flowing into your center. Breathing now, focusing into that center point in your belly. And feel your energy is stronger. Beautiful. Now that was just a few seconds, but can you imagine how much more relaxed and really full of the benefits you would be if you did that for a full half hour? Even 20 minutes, even 10 minutes. It's cutting the benefits short if we don't give it that lovely bookend of stillness. But we do what we can. Good, so let's bring the feet together now, please. We'll keep the palms overlapping the center. We lengthen up through the top of the head and gently pressing into the belly as we hinge from the hips. This is the Qigong salute. Thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. It's lovely to see your work in progress, and it's just great to have company while we do Tai Chi. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you next time.